Theory of pangenesis. The theory of pangenesis was an early and now discredited theory of heredity, proposed by ancient Greeks and later revived and refined by the English naturalist Charles Darwin in the 19th century. Definition: the theory of pangenesis suggested that heredity information is carried by a particle called gemmules or pangenes, which are produced by all parts of an organism's body. These particles supposedly gather in the reproductive organ and are passed out to the next generation during reproduction. The key concept involved pangenes. Darwin proposed that every particle of an organism produce small hereditary particle, that is pangene, that circulates in the body and are collected in the reproductive organ. Blending inheritance. Pangenesis was associated with a form of blending inheritance where traits from both parents blend together in the offspring. Ancient root. The idea of pangenesis has ancient origins, with early Greek philosophers suggesting that hereditary factors were contributed by all parts of the body. Darwin's contribution. Charles Darwin, in the mid 19th century, revived and modified the theory of pangenesis to explain the inheritance of acquired traits. He proposed that these pangenes could be influenced by an organism's environment and experience, allowing acquired characters to be passed on to the offspring. Experimental flaws. The theory faced criticism due to the lack of experimental evidence, and it was inconsistent with the principle of genetics that emerged later. The idea of particles circulating in the body and collecting in the reproductive organ lacked the empirical evidence. Replacement by Mendelian genetics. Gregor Mendel's work on inheritance with pea plants, published around the same time as Darwin's pangenesis theory, laid the groundwork for modern genetics. Mendelian genetics, with its principle of discrete hereditary factor, later identified as genes, replaced the theory of pangenesis. Legacy. While the theory of pangenesis was ultimately discredited, it represents an early attempt to explain the heredity and the transmission of traits from one generation to next. Historical context. The theory of pangenesis emerged in a period when there was limited knowledge about the mechanism of inheritance, and various speculative theories were proposed to explain the transmission of traits.